With me now to talk about this rising clash over currencies and protectionism is Alan Ruskin. He's the head of G10 Foreign Exchange Strategy at Deutsche Bank, joining me on the phone. And Alan, all this talk today is, of course, that we didn't get any concrete solutions. But were you even expecting that we would from the weekend?
Not at all, really. I think G20 really fulfilled mine, and I think the market's low set of expectations. So, no, is the short answer.
Right, and I want to pick up on what Mohammed Al-Arian just said, which is, we're not securing the peace. Why are we finding it so difficult? Why are countries finding it so difficult to rebalance the world economy after this crisis?
Well, I think, there are a lot of tensions that existed before the crisis, and there are, some fresh tensions that exist after the crisis. Tensions that existed before the crisis largely revolved around large external imbalances, particularly China's large surplus. And we also had, of course, the United States' very large deficit. Some of the United States' large deficits being corrected, but in turn, really, you've got a new set of problems, which is very low U.S. interest rates, some improvement in the U.S. savings rate on the private side, but unfortunately the fiscal deficit looks terrible, as it does in much of the G10 world. So it's really some fresh imbalances and some old imbalances coming together now.
Right, and they weren't addressed, of course, through this crisis. We were just trying to deal with with that crisis moment for moment. So now that we've kind of settled in and we have to deal with these imbalances. How does it all end, Alan? Does it end with the Fed finally stepping out of the markets, or where does it end?
It's a great question, really. For the moment, at least, I think we're going to go through a period where the U.S. and perhaps Europe and Canada point a finger at China, and maybe China and some of the BRIC countries point a finger back at the U.S. So I think the squabble continues for quite some time, really. Ultimately, I would expect that you will move slowly towards more Chinese currency flexibility, and you also see some additional Asian currency flexibility. But in the meantime, as we work through that, I think what you're going to see more likely is emerging market asset bubbles. So you'll see this huge flow of funds towards the emerging world that will boost Asian liquidity in particular. Some of it will get funneled back to the U.S. and Europe in the form of reserve diversification. But in the meantime, I think you're going to see some Asian asset bubbles and ultimately some exchange rate appreciation.
And when you're saying, Alan, Asian asset bubble, you're talking about the Chinese property market as one very big one, right?
Yeah, although that's to some extent had a frothy period, and the Chinese are remarkably good at actually putting up various barriers to excessive speculation from time to time. So I think the vehicles will probably be the liquid equity markets.